Hello everybody. Today I would like to show you how to do a line through system. If you ever tried to do a heavy casting with some of the line through lures, like for example this one, that's a 3D roach from Savage Gear, you probably experienced how nice the system is and what is the advantages of using that system. But Savage Gear lures, they are really good. I like them for the swimming action, but at the same time they have some issue that I faced when you casting a lot of these lures. This element here tends to get loose and then it comes out. So, and nevertheless, there's not only Savage Gear lures, but there's other makers that can do quite nice lures, but they don't have a line through system. So how to make your other big rubber bait, big rubber lure, a line through lure. So for example, I'm gonna show you how to make another Savage Gear lure like this one. This is a beaver roach, 3D river roach, 18 centimeters. How to make this lure a line through lure like this one here. Or if you're a fan of Westin lures, how to make the Ricky the Roach a line through lure. Or if you're using even bigger lures than that, how to make Westin Hypo Tees a double treble hook line through lure. To do this, you're gonna need steel leader. For example, that's a Savage Gear steel leader, but of course you can choose different makes, it doesn't really matter, but that one is 0.6 diameter, which is quite important, and I will tell you later on why it's important. You're gonna need sleeves, metal sleeves. So you see there's various different makers, but at the same time, when you're thinking about that is 0.2 mil diameter, you need to make sure your sleeve is at least twice as big in diameter plus a little bit of extra, and that depends on the make. For example, Savage Gear, that give you a inner diameter here, that's the inner diameter of your sleeve, which is quite important. So you need to go at least double plus some extra. So for example, this 1.2 mil will not work with 0.6 steel leader, because you need that a little bit of extra. That will not fit. That's why I'm gonna use other ones, and for the purpose of this video I'm gonna use 1.8 mil, which is just on the limits. I probably would advise you to use bigger one like this one, which is 2 mil. Okay. Plus you're gonna need your trebles, 1/0 treble, 2/0 treble, or bigger, depends on the size of your bait. And you're gonna need a stoppers. This is a red stopper, but obviously you can use rubber, you can use different sizes, different colors, doesn't really matter what you're gonna use. And you're gonna need some tips, something to cut the steel wire, because I'm gonna use that for that, and then a crimping tool. So there's different crimping tools out there on the market. I had a few of them, but after a little while they all get rusty and they don't really work as good as just a plumbing tool. This plumbing tool is great for this purpose. There's nothing better than that. Okay, so let's get going. First of all, steel wire. So I'm gonna do this. Well, so it's very important that you're gonna make your line through system to suit your lure. Obviously your lures could be different sizes, like this is 18 centimeters 70-gram lure, but they could go bigger and bigger. I mean, there's plenty different sizes. You can go, you can do your line through even for the giant macrobber fish from Svartsanker. So all these line through systems, they are unique for the bite. Why they're unique for the bait? The uniqueness is that, first of all, you're choosing the place where your treble has to be set. Yeah. So for example here, the treble is just right underneath these fins. I think that's the best spot for the treble. First of all, it doesn't have a negative impact on how the lure works, and then second thing is that this is probably the most effective place whenever you have your bite. Usually pike comes and grabs either from the top, from the side, sometimes from the back, but usually it grabs in the middle, like so, or like so. So chance of hook set, I think, is the best, having the treble like that. So that's the first unique part, is where you want to have it. Second unique part is that this line over here has to be cannot be stressed, has to be loosed, but at the same time it cannot be very loosed. So why so? If there is a tension here on this particular piece of steel wire, whenever you do your casts, all the tension that you're creating with your cast goes down on this element and on this place, which is your treble. Every time when you cast will be pulled out of your bite, which is, you don't want that. You want this to easily stay in there, and the only time when it gets pulled out is when your pike hits it. And that's the problem with the Savage Gear lures. Sometimes they're very good, but they're not perfect. So when you look at closely, when I pull this wire, you can see how the bottom part of the wire moves. So after hundreds and hundreds of casts, this element sometimes getting loosed. And as you can see, I'm using now already a pin that holds this treble in place, because that element that is inside that lure is now worn out, and it just let this element go. It pulls this element go like this. So when you're casting and you bring your lure close to your boat, then all you see is this, which is no good. So that comes out from that pocket here, which is, as you can see, it's worn out. It doesn't hold it any longer. So the pin is the only thing I can do now to hold that treble in place. So there is a way to avoid this by making this stopper right there. So that will give you a warranty that that pin will never be pulled when you're casting. Well, let's keep going. So I got a wire. First of all, what you want to do is just put two sleeves. Use two sleeves. I use singular sleeve, but I always make them double, just to make sure that they will never let go. And so far, they never let me down. So you use two sleeves, and this is the moment where you want to use the treble. So I'm gonna take one of the trebles out. There we go. Back in the box. you sleeve it through like so. You put that end back through the sleeves, through the first one and through the second one. Okay, now this loop is slightly too big, so you want to make it smaller. So you pull on the wire, on one end of the wire, so the loop is like so. It's not bigger than that. Then the perfect cramping tool, which is your plumbing pliers. You hold it like this in a little bit of an angle, never straight. Just press one and only one. Press only one. If you press too many times, you can break the sleeve, and it will no longer hold your steel wire. And then another one. One time, firmly. And then, when you look closely, you're gonna see these marks on the steel sleeve. See how they are in an angle? That will give you a warranty that will never let go. Okay, so the next thing, when you put your treble on, you decide how big your leader is going to be. My leaders are usually somewhere around 400 mil up to half a meter long, so that's gonna be around half a meter. Use the pliers, simply go like that, cut it through, and then I decide, the next step is decide where you want to put your stopper. So this is very unique for every bait. For example, for this 18 centimeters line through roach, 3D roach, sorry, it's not yet line through roach. Then you put your treble whenever you want it to be, and then you measure back the front of the lure and then see where the stopper is going to be, like so. I'd say I would put it in there where my fingertips are. Okay, there we go. Take another sleeve. You take one of them. Sleeve go first. Always go first, sleeve, and then your little bore that you're gonna use as a stopper. There we go. So we measure again exactly where the location should be. Treble under the fins, and then we move the stopper back to around here. That's how I want it to be. Okay. Right. So we hold the sleeve in that very exact place. We grab a cramping tool, hold it there. One firm press. That's it, and it's almost over. What else we're gonna do? We're gonna have to make a loop at the very end of our leader, like so. So use again another two sleeves for that. That's them. One, another one. We make a loop and we put them back in. One through and another one. Then you create your loop how big you want it to be. I don't like them too big, but I'm just doing them somewhere like that. So this loop will be slightly bigger then the loop in the back over here. Pliers. Remember, just one, but firm. One, job done. Another one, job done. There you go, and your leader is almost over. Next thing you need to do with your babe is using the screw head or just screw loop. Then again, it comes in a different size. That one is slightly too big for that little lure like that, but nevertheless, just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna show you how to do it. This is important to put it very straight as you can possibly do, and if you can, it's good to have this loop facing slightly down, so when you screw it in, it should come out slightly down, like so. Let's try it out. This is not that easy task, just to let you know, but it should be just fine. And then again, the loop needs to be horizontal. Like so, it's horizontal, it's facing down, slightly down. This is what you want. Now, put your sleeve through this little opening here. Bang, and there we go. That's your line through. Now, all you need to do is just to use one of the stopping pins and just secure it in here, or you can either do that, or you can just put your treble hook inside the rubber, but I like to use a pin and just leave this hanging like that so we can freely move. One of these. And you go back to the first loop you done. Just pull it through like this. Yeah. And then this pin is going in the rubber just under those back fins, bottom fins, like so. So you stick it in here, in the middle. Bang. This is it. This is your line through. And then obviously you go on the water and then you test it. If you have a situation when your lure kind of spins too much and then it tends to just go upside down like this and roll over, then it means it has too little weight in the front or in the bottom of the rubber. So the best for that is just the screwing weights that you can find in here, you can find in there. If it's still not enough, you can put slightly more weight in the holes that are ready for it, like in this guy here. Yeah. Unfortunately, from my experience, it looks like most of the baits does need those weights on the bottom. And why it happens? Because you see the paddle tails. For example, this 3D roach doesn't have a huge paddle tail. It has average size of paddle tail. So this lure does not turn that much. It rather has very fast movement, and this rubber just gets a lot of vibration like this. But when the paddle goes bigger, like with the Westin lures, see the size of this paddle is twice as much or more. Then this lure 100% is gonna do this on you. But if you put those weights in, it has very hard action. So there's a lot of vibration into it. And then you can pull it very slow and it still does that much. And that's about it. If you want to go for a double one, the procedure is exactly the same, but the only difference with that is you're gonna have to either put this treble on the separate loop, or you're just gonna do something like this. You keep the treble on your main leader, and then you do one stopper here and another stopper there. So this treble is secured in this place. And then again, when there is a hard throw and you pull on it, look at it. There's no tension on that piece of wire below. So these trebles will stay there secured. No matter how many throws you're gonna do, these stoppers gonna hold it in place. Thank you for watching, and good luck.